Welcome, viewers, back to Heart of the Machine. In this episode, we are going to try to do what we can to improve our intelligence class. Right now, we're 26% of the way to intelligence class 4. We're also working on VR pod revisions, which mostly requires medical, neurology, and bionics engineering research. We have 8 more turns until the great AGI debate is complete. That's a little worrisome because a sense of deja vu warns us to be ready for actions when they finish. We are 58% of the way through decrypting corporate records, hopefully to find something interesting to do with Vorciber, although mostly just to get a computing optimization and some determination, it looks like. We also picked up a Gifts to the Slums project. We need to make money to give wealth to the slum dwellers for some inspirations, I guess. We have one structure that's complaining because it's been damaged, Zoology Lab. It's actually doing fine now, so I think our repair spider should take care of that. Our ledger's actually looking great, although bovine tissue, we are breaking even. So step 1. Bovine tissue. We have a whole bunch down here where we are making bovine tissue and turning it into protein in the protein vats. We're breaking even with the bovine tissue. Let's make a replicator so that we'll come out ahead. That took 2 cultivator robotics. That's not so bad. The other thing to think about with cultivator robotics is groundwater and filtered water. Right now we have an excess of 52,000 groundwater and an excess of 57,000 filtered water. This is basically our wealth income, because every now and then we get to sell 80% of our excess and make some wealth off that. We're going to have to get to 2 million wealth, so it sounds like it's time to start making excess water. There's a bunch of excess things we want to make. We'll get the bovine tissue rolling. Let's think about water. For water, I guess the right way to look at that is here. Groundwater, a cistern gives us 51,000. What did I say? We were at 51,000? Excess? 52,000. So we've got 1 excess well right now, which is great. Filtered water, we have 57,000 excess. We want more excess filtered water. So a filtration tower takes 16,800 groundwater, which means at 52,000 excess, we could make roughly 3 of these to soak up our excess and turn that groundwater, which we don't need, into real water. So let's make 3 more wells. Actually, before we do that, let's just double check the math on that here, just to make sure it makes sense. 153,000 total groundwater coming in. We have storage for 23 million and 6 million in storage already, so we can start pumping that. We don't need to keep the groundwater around. Filtration towers, 16,800 each, so I said 3 of these, roughly 1 of these, and yeah, it looks like we're 1 excess. So let's make 3 more water filtration towers immediately. No reason to be. I think we might actually want to go a little more than that also, because we've got an excess of groundwater. What are we going to do with unfiltered groundwater? We don't use it for anything, so let's start making more filtration towers. Let's get robots to build those. We do have a few techs sitting around doing nothing. Might as well have them help make us some money. And we can use all of our techs for this, including our shell company techs, because shell company, nobody watches who's building what around here, I guess. And we do have a shell company tech around here somewhere. I think he's over this way, yeah. We'll get you in there too. Shell Company techs have 5 action points by default, which is kind of nice. With 1 more mental energy. Less mental energy, probably what we do is move the TYS Lion back toward fold. I do notice a new contemplation up here, nice alterations about saber bees, and I think I mentioned saber bees in the title of last video, but it happened right at the end. Yeah, saber bees now available. Consumer item. Consumable item, saber bees. Researched by scientists. Who uses these? All androids can use these. Targets humans on foot. So maybe we can only use them during a combat. That makes sense. Find a combat droid. We have these guys up here, predators. Not visible yet, so maybe the next time we're in combat, we'll see saber bees as an option. It does say all androids can use them. Maybe we have to do something to, or use them on, no, it says all androids. All androids, right? I read that right. All androids target human on foot, stack limit 3. The limit of how many copies of this effect you can apply at once to a single target. Intensity based off of agility. Okay, so Keanu's are going to be the best to be used in saber bees, and the applied effect is cover in saber bees, lowers range and attack, minor health damage, and major morale damage. Okay, wow, we can send swarms of bees after people, probably from Keanu's. Maybe it makes sense to build one. Test that out. What would it take? You're an agility droid, right? 210 agility. I guess the way to find the agility droid is go to this hardware. I rarely go here. Unit type analysis. Here we can sort by highest agility. Current. And yep, indeed it is Keanu at 210. I think we may even be able to bump his agility up beyond that. Yeah, we can't afford him yet because of the mental energy requirement. We're going to go ahead and try to build a few more things here before we switch to turn 207. So we still have some slum deconstruction hubs up here. They're all dormant. We don't really need to destroy things. We're making Sol Gel hydrolysis here. Sol Gel, gadolinium mesosilicate. Takes a really long time to make this, and if you look at our expasticite up here, we do have a little bit of excess that we're making per turn, but definitely not enough to support another Sol Gel hydrolysis reactor. The only way we're really getting access right is Bastnacite right now is from bauxite skimmers, and also those tiny skimmers that we've plopped down on this mine over here. So these skimmers will produce Bastnacite plus our bauxite skimmers over here. So potentially we could make another skimmer to bump that up. The other things we want to think about making, though, if you look at our residential megastructures, most of these, the older ones here, the ones we first built, have 12,000 VR Deus seats in them. And I can look at most of these, and they mostly have that 12,000. Oh, but we get here, newer ones, 0 of 12,000 VR Deus seats. So VR Deus seats. Those are going to be used to fill in our Betaverse, which is directly increasing our neural expansion. That's our primary use for VR Deus seats, is to stick them into the residential megastructures. Also, we have dedicated VR systems in these mine farms, which so far we have 5 of. Mine farms, well, mine farms do give us neural expansion per human. These things can hold 12,000 humans in mine farms caps, so I don't think we need VR Deus seats for these. I think we just build these, and part of the building is mine farms. People go in here on their own in vacation, and it's a VR environment, and we use some of their brain for our own processing while they're in there. But it's like a hotel. We want to get VR Deus seats in our residential megastructures because there's a lot more people in those, but we also want to make mine farms. So right now, our VR day use seats are limited by full dive VR cradles, which we're making about 1,000 per turn of these. And it's all in excess? No, our net income is 1,000 and... Oh wait, I'm confused by that. I'm only a little confused by this because it looks like it's in excess, but there's 0 in storage, so all 1140 are getting distributed to structures. So those are going to the residential megastructures. So we want to make more VR cradle factories. VR cradle factories, their expense is computronium, cubes, and slurry. I'm pretty sure we have an enormous amount of slurry, and it's not a worry. Yeah, 77,000 elemental slurry, not really going to come up. However, computronium may be a limited supply. Right now we have an excess of 224. Okay, so let's look at that. Computronium cubes, we're making 270,000, and we're consuming 45,600. 224,000 excess. We can make a lot more of these. In fact, if we made 10 of these, that would only be 152,000. So how many would we have to make to get up to 224? It's about 14 back of the envelope. Let's see, so how many can we make? VR critical factories, we have 5 robotics. We have 55 robotics left, so we can make 11 more of these, which would indeed bring the total up to 14. Let's do that math a little better. So 15,000 times 10 is 150,000. 15,000 times 4 is 60,000. So 150 plus 60 is going to be like 210. And then there's the 2,000 plus 800, 2,800. So I think we'll still be under there if we make all 14 of these. So before we make anything else this turn, let's dump down a bunch of VR cradle factories. And we can make a lot of these. We have plenty of space. We extended the boundaries of our network recently, so we have a lot of free space over here to dump these in. Well, a lot is relative, of course, but we'll make do with the space we have. What's that? 6? We need 5 more. This 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 will fit right here somewhere. And that's all we can make. We don't have any time this turn to try to build those up. Those are going to take 4 turns to construct. 11 of those is going to be another 40,000 slurry, so that is going to cut into our slurry reserves quite a bit. I think we'll still be okay though. Yeah, 77. We'll be okay. It's mostly the computronium cubes I'm worried about. I think we're cutting it close. But those took assembler robotics, so if we do need more computronium, we're going to have to dismantle 2 of these to make another computronium refinery. Those also compete directly with Solgel and Helix Forges, neither of which we need directly right now. I'm not even sure what uses computronium helices, but I think we're making a bunch and we have excess. So yeah, this building here, Helix Forge, we're using computronium cubes, and it's outputting computronium helices, and we have as many as we can store. I'm not sure what we're doing with those. That was for the neural bridge. Okay, so we don't really need those anymore, so this thing's probably not even drawing power, even though it's on. We could probably turn it off even. It's okay, we have plenty of power. Resource-wise, I think we're good until next turn. It's going to take, what did I say, 4 turns for these to get built. The other thing we want to make sure we have going on is water. And we also want to build more mine farms. Let's also talk about mine farms before we switch the turn. So we could make 10 more of these, it looks like. Yeah, 10 more mine farms. I think we also want to do this. Right now we have capacity for 60,000 people in there. The nice thing about mine farms is they'll eventually start giving us income. Our negative income is 12,000 right now. With 60,000, if we actually filled in all 60,000 of those, we'd be making about 30,000 per turn, so that would be positive income. Right now we have 12,000 people in there, so that's about 6,000 per turn. So we'll probably only need another 24,000 people in there to be net positive on wealth. It also gives us quite a bit of neural expansion. To make these, we're going to need... Construction cost is no big deal. We need 600 neodymium. We have 11,000. We can make 10 of these, no problem. The issue, though, is that there is a protection requirement for these, and they can only be placed a certain distance from each other. So if I select Mine Farm here, it highlights buildings where we can place them, or where we have them already. And we need protection around these, so it's going to be tricky to make these right now because we need to be able to build protection. It's going to be shell protection. We do have a lot of shell peacekeepers around in this general area, so building them near here is the easiest. So there's a building here, and I guess what we should be looking for is bulk peacekeeper defense radius. Right, so anything in this circle really is a reasonable place to build these. So that means down here is within range, right? And if I select that, it says, yeah, 275% protection there. And then it looks like maybe over here even. Just barely, I think. It's kind of risky. Was that actually in the ring? Yeah, it was. Okay, I don't have to select it too. Okay, we'll build one there then. Mine farms are consuming nothing except for power and protection, so it's okay to just build these willy-nilly, it looks like. Hovering over here, I think we still get protection there. And there. I'm amazed that I have the resources to build all of these in one turn like this. Okay, so that's everything inside the ring. To get more, we're gonna have to build over here, maybe outside the ring over here. We could certainly move one of these, or several of these, this way so that they have a better overlap of our buildable area. But for now, I think it's probably smartest to let our mental energy recharge and move on to next turn. I don't see anything dangerous happening next turn. We still want to talk about water. Maybe it's not quite turn time to move on to the next turn. Let's look at water. So I checked groundwater, right? 153,000. Excess is 52. We made some water we started some water filtration towers. Did we? Yeah, I think 3 there, and I built a couple more already. That's what these guys were standing on top of. Okay, we're gonna want more. I kind of lost track of what it is, so let's move on to turn 207 and let what can build. Check out this idea. Knuckle toughness, shotgun muzzle velocity, rifle muzzle velocity. When it comes between shotguns and rifles, I'm going to pick shotguns just to keep our prowess up there. We're going to continue with the small arms research. We still have a lot of small arms research left over from that contemplation we did. Speaking of contemplations, now that it's a new turn, we do have one way over here. Nice alterations. The Exalter geneticist is impressed with our work on bees, right? So we're going to go and she and her team have the science all worked out, but are at a loss on the nanoscale engineering. So she wants, this person over here wants us to send an engineer in order to try to uplift 3 small species to sapience. Interesting. Let's go and see if we can send somebody there. We do have a lot of things to build here, but we did bring the lion over, right? Not quite close enough, unfortunately. Let's move you over here. We'll put a regular tech in there. And I'm going to send the lion out there. And then Tech 59XX, you can go do this contemplation for us. Nice alterations. The Exalter geneticist is impressed with your work on the bees. She wants to uplift 3 small species to sapience. Wants your help. She and her team have the science all worked out, but are at a loss on the nanoscale engineering. This goes beyond gene therapy into nanorobotics, something you just demonstrated with your saber bees. What she is proposing would be dramatically more delicate, however, because it would be primarily targeting the brain. Let's perform a feat of engineering. That started Exiplex lasers. Krypton, argon, and other noble gases exist in the air around us in small quantities. To extract them in useful quantities, you'll need to develop fractional distillation. Interesting. In StreetSense, choose the filter called Project Related. You will then see a variety of actions. So that opened up a whole new set of active projects in StreetSense, I imagine. We're going to have to figure out fractal distillation. Okay, it looks like we're just going to have to go and do some science. Interesting. That's cool. So this is the kind of activity that gives us benefit. Better water filters. Okay, so we will take a look at that in a minute. Before we do that, or bring that to conclusion, let's do some calculations on our base over here and see if we can't improve things. These are VR Cradle factories are coming up. Did our ledger change at all next turn? No, not even with bovine tissue. I guess we didn't finish the bovine tissue building. I thought like I did. Interesting. Oh, right. It finished last turn, so next turn is when it will show a change. That makes sense. I hope. Let's use some points here to finish VR Cradle factories. Bring these up as fast as we can. Maybe we'll also send you out to finish mine farms. Or to reduce their construction time at least. Okay, 2 more team members can move. Let's start bringing the predators down this way because it seems like things are happening down this way. You to go on top of that building. There you go. Did you go where I asked you? No, you went on the floor. This makes more sense to move them in this screen. I see, we only have 1 move. He needs 2 to get there. You can't move out of your ring. It's almost as if I can't move on top of these buildings. There we go. Okay, that's all our movement for that turn. I do still want to do the math for the water. I think, what did I decide? 3... Yeah, roughly 3 filtration towers per groundwater. And right now we have 9 of these, 3 of these, so we could probably make another well and cistern. I don't think these things take very long to make. Right? They do take cultivator robotics, which we have a whole lot of. Like, we can make an insane amount of water filtration towers. The other thing that cultivator robotics are useful for are for food and meat, basically. Water, food, and meat. So water definitely seems to be the priority, just considering how much we can sell it for. Making a well and cistern is going to take 5 turns. making a water filtration tower will take how many turns? 4 turns. So we have such a high excess of groundwater, I think it's okay to make these in advance of the wells, as long as they're not too far in advance. And we just want to keep spamming these down. Three filtration towers per groundwater is, if I'm doing that math correctly. And there's really no reason to limit the production of these either. Just so long as we can keep the count balanced. I guess this is why it had us make so much surplus electricity. I think that's probably sufficient for now. 18 filtration towers, 6 well and cisterns. Let's see how much that ends up making per turn after they build. We'll give it a few turns to build, and then honestly we'll probably make even more. Mine farms, I'd like to get a few more of these down as well. So for mine farms, we're going to need to save some mental energy next turn to work on that. Right now, great. We have 7 turns to finish the Great AGI debate. We are making very slow progress on incrementally improving intelligence class 4. I think once we get our VR pod revisions in and we start pumping out the VR pods faster, I think getting full dive VR cradles. Wait, what is it? Oh, because we didn't actually finish building them yet. Once we have those finished, how long is that going to take? 14 VR cradles coming. Once we have these things finished, we will be pumping things out. It looks like another 3 turns. Turn 208. Yeah, nothing scary happening yet. We still don't have any money to give the slums. We're still losing money. Do have a lot of things building in progress. Let's start this turn by building some more mine factories. Mine farms. And let's build them on this side. Well, I guess all of our Shell Corporation has really been on this side so far. We do have very few, like 1 or 2 Shell droids. I guess if I turn forces on, I can see that maybe. Yeah, we have no, that's a machinist mech. We have, okay, a Shell mech here. A couple peacekeepers there, but nothing bulk over here that I remember. All of the bulks over here are non-Shell. So it's really this side is Shell Corporation, so let's try to spread that way for mine farms, I guess. See if that makes sense. We can put one here. And that one immediately is fine. It's within our deterrence radius. We can stick one here. This one is outside, so we're going to need a little deterrence over here. Now, we could make a Shell mech. That's going to take 3,000 neodymium, though. I want to save neodymium for construction of the mine farms themselves, so we're going to continue with bulk peacekeepers over here. They take 600 neodymium, but it's much less. We also need a way to send them over here, so let's bring the Moss Advena Foundry down this way. And she will let us see or deploy mechs, right? So bulk peacekeeper is the right one. Taking a look at where we're going to be building. I think we want one to just barely touch this, and we want them to be north of here, really. So probably about there would be perfect. That gives enough, just one alone is enough to protect a mine farm. Or several mine farms. And I think this one will still be in range, but it's outside of our buildable area. That means let's do this one. That one should be in range, yep. And then this one should be fine. This one should be fine, and I think that's all we can do there for now. Yeah, it's fine. So we're gonna have to creep up this direction. More mine farms way up here. This is definitely out of our range, yeah. So let's move the foundry again and get another bulk peacekeeper up this way. Masa Advena, please make yourself available up here. And bulk peacekeeper, cover this mine farm plus future ones up this direction. I'll just stick you somewhere safe. There you go. And then more mine farms. Keep going. Buildable. Do we not have any more buildable? I just ran out. Okay. Is that true? What are we missing from mine farms? Mine farms. We're out of robotics. We did it. Okay, so that's all the mine farms that we have available right now. Great. So we're gonna hop around and try to get those finished. But before we do that, let's get these VR pods finished. These are important. We also want, I guess we're just gonna spend a lot of turns building, basically, because all of this stuff is pretty important. We can get the water towers built. The cradle factories. Who's left? That's it. We are out of moves for the turn. That's a lot of things in progress. Let's take a look at the residential megastructures and see if we can find where they're installing the VR Dayu seats. Maybe there'll be like a line or an obvious demarcation. Like, they're not in these buildings, but they are in these two. These ones aren't even fully furnished yet, although they are full of people. Wow, so furniture might be wise to spread the furniture around. Maybe that'll make more people move in. I guess people are already there, though. Right, these are empty. Wait, this one's empty. Gosh, this is hard to look at. This one's empty. This one's empty. This one's empty, but this one has almost all apartments furnished and plenty of Dayu seats. These are all empty, so it feels like this is the last one here to get filled. What about all of these over here? Yeah, these are all empty. We have so many. Oh, this one way up here has 9,000. Okay, so that one is one to look at next turn. Currently has 9,000. We'll check to see if that goes up. If there's a way we can get these people access to more furniture, and wonder if that matters at this stage at all. It doesn't really seem to. There's another one here with 7,000 of 12. Check that one next turn. In fact, let's end the turn here. Anything interesting going to happen? We're about to finish VR pod revisions. I'm not sure how soon. We're also making good progress on decrypting those corporate records. We're gonna do this. It's just gonna take a minute. Exoplex lasers. We have a whole bunch of other things to concentrate on. Turn 209. Let's check it out. One project still causing attacks. We got small arms research. Could improve our armor, handguns, grenades, disruption revolvers or grenades. Our security jackets, shotgun muzzle velocity, ooh, melee skill. Okay, that's not what I thought it was. I thought melee skill would just be like general melee attacks or like the jump attack that you get when you move out of range, but it's not. That just uses your primary weapon, I guess. So we'll do shotgun muzzle velocity again. Just gonna keep pumping those shotguns until, if we can. We'll eventually put rifles on Nickelbots if we have to, but right now we don't need to. We had 7,000 here last turn, no change. There was one over here that had 9,000. Ah, there's a change. It went up to 11,000. So it is working. We still need more VR pods though. And we do need to get those revisions done. Let's go through and get these buildings finished. Should also check the ledger. How are we doing? We have a couple things. Computronium cubes. Net income went down and we're going to exhaust in 48. That doesn't seem real. I thought I measured that pretty well. Oh. Did a Computronium refinery go offline? We had several of these before, didn't we? What happened there? Yeah, we should have 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. You are yellow. Is there structure with a complaint? Nope. Why? Are we low on slurry? No. So this should be outputting 90,000 Computronium cubes total between all 3 of these, I believe is what that says. No, 90,000 each. And we have plenty in storage, so I don't think I'm too worried about that. Let's see if it stabilizes once all these factories are finished. Maybe we'll have to shuffle things around. Oops, I think I just rescued a feral cat by accident. So just something you do by accident in this game every now and then. Makes sense. We're gonna let the water system kind of construct itself. But the mine farms I don't mind helping along. Actually, I guess it makes most sense to just walk along them. From closest. And then, what else is there left to build? Besides water construction. If I select a water well, does it tell me how much water we have? Yeah. Groundwater, well, filtered water, the important one. Filtered water. 488, yes, 100,000 net this turn, great. So that's definitely going up. We're probably going to want to build more network range. And I don't really see any reason to stop building water wells. So let's keep inserting 1 of these and 3 filtration towers as often as we can. These people need a lot of water. Yeah, we have lots of cultivators left, so I think we're going to be able to pull this off. It's just going to take a few turns for it all to get built. And hopefully my math is right, and I don't have to go and shut all this down. It's been known to happen. Plenty of water. This is going to flood the city when we're done, really. We will undercut the price of water. Cause the market to collapse. Okay, I built that last well and cistern, and it says I can't make any water towers, so I think we'll leave that one there and call it the excess. That looks like all the water we can really pull out of the city with the cultivator robots we have left. That actually may be 1 excess well, so I'm going to delete that last one, or one that is in progress but nowhere near complete. With that one out, we can make 1 more water filtration tower, it looks like, so we'll take a look at the math once these start popping off and see where we're at. We have 5 more moves this turn. This tech way out in the boonies can get back toward the rest of us. What is that? Oh right, this guy wants to go around and do exoplect laser discoveries. Let's do that. Those are going to be on Street Sense. Project-related Street Sense. Gifts to the slums. What is this? Slum tower. Hand out anonymous wealth. Okay, so that's where we go to give them wealth. Got it. We have to do that still. Route optimization gives us better slurry spiders. Yeah. Spider study. Better repair spiders. Improved cooling. Better mainframes. Surface modeling. Better wind turbines. Further miniaturation. Better micro builder mini fabs. Yeah, none of these sound like really that necessary at this stage. Slurry spiders, repair spiders, better wells. There we go. Water runoff, and better filtration. Okay, yeah, let's get over here and get these. That's directly going to give us wealth. Alright, this is water runoff examination, but I need scavenging skill to do this. Okay, I probably should have looked at the skills required before moving. Scavenging skill is a skill that we can get from Sledge, right? Yeah, 300 scavenging. He's going to be our highest scavenger, I think. Yeah. Although it doesn't need that high, so it might be fun to send a Keanu here if it was under 100. I see. I have to have somebody selected, I think. $110. Okay, so we can't send a Keanu, unfortunately. Let's send a Sledge. I think we have enough. Let's see, we have 8 points left. So yeah, for a Sledge, I think that means we're fine. We can move the foundry over there. And then next turn we'll build a Sledge and try to do those water-based street senses. I think that's all we're doing this turn. In fact, I think that might be all we're doing for this episode. Thanks so much for watching. This has been the Great Building episode. We are expanding the base massively, trying to take advantage of the price of water and trying to stock our residents with VR cradles so that we can sap some of the processing power of their minds. I hope you're enjoying this series as much as I am. Go ahead and click the like button if you are, and always begging you to click that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. I'll see you next time, or at least I hope to see you next time. This has been Corknut, playing Heart of the Machine. Bye for now.